So for my car mechanic simulator review, it's more or less going to be broken into two different parts. Part 1, the simple review is basically asking 3 questions. Do you enjoy cars? Do you enjoy fixing things? And are you interested in how cars work? If you have answered yes to any of these here questions, there's a good chance you will probably enjoy Car Mechanic Simulator. Our second part of the review, the main one, as you know, with the Mr. B format, is where we look at our positives, negatives and neutral areas. So here we go. Okay, so first positive here is the fact that, as someone who actually doesn't know all that much about cars, I find that Car Mechanic Simulator does a decent enough job showing that insight of how the cars work, and as well as stuff in like a mechanical operation background, as you can see with our workshop and stuff here. Really does show you an insight into the actual occupation. The next positive here I want to show you, if we can find the thing, is the fact that later on in the game you can actually customize how your garage looks. So as you can see, we can flip through a few colours like the floor options, as well as the wee side parts, your drains, your walls and whatnot. I thought it was pretty fancy enough. So there you go, if you enjoy customization your stuff. Your next positive here, if you can't tell, is that we're actually doing this in the sandbox mode. So if you just want to let loose with as much money as you have and all your upgrades unlocked, you can go ahead and shenanigan around with your cars, engines and all that good fun stuff, just for the sake of the review. So as you can see, here's all of our stuff with the fully upgraded garage and the cars and all that. So you can work away if that tickles your pickle. The other positive that I want to show off is of course all of the different areas of the garage that you can actually work with. So as you can see here, here's a wee room to do your suspension testing, good way to check your tires and suspension and whatnot. And of course over here is where you can actually customize the colours of your car. I'll even show you it real quick. So we're going to go ahead and move this car into the paint shop. There we go. And you can see we can go on ahead and paint it. So just to show you real quick as a brief example, we're going to have it set as, let's see, I think a chrome color. That should be okay. Mind you, this is just something super basic for the purpose of the tutorial. So change the brightness a bit. Paint car. There we go. Just as an example. So if you enjoy your different workshop areas, you'll probably enjoy shenaniganing around on this. Now with the positive side of the way, let's go on ahead and take a look here at the negatives. Now the main negative that I want to point out is the input lag. So as you can see, that's just me walking around, and if you can't hear the analog stick, I've held it up to the microphone. You can see that the input makes it a wee bit slow. I think you can customize your sensitivity in the settings, but the input lag is especially noticeable when you're actually testing out your cars and whatnot on your test track. I can only hope that they do release an optimization patch down the line to help with that, which I am hoping they do down the line. The only other negative area is the game tutorial. The game tutorial is essentially you looking at all of your different workshop areas with bringing up a brief pop-up just explaining what they do. I found the most best way to learn how to do it was just pop it into sandbox mode and shenanigan around with your cars that way to get to know how the game works, which is what I did for a few hours before actually starting the jobs on the car and whatnot. Now for the neutral areas. While you can visit barns to pick up cars and stuff, which I will show you real quick. So let's go find a barn. Here we go. So while you can go and visit your barns and whatnot to pick up cars to work on, as well as the occasional finds lying around to work with, which we'll see in a moment, I should probably say the only other negative here There's of course the long loading screens time, but it's manageable. It's more of a neutral area, to be honest. And of course, lastly, before actually starting with neutral areas, is the UI. As you saw, it's only the circular pie-based charts. You can probably guess that navigation makes it a wee bit tricky to work with, since I don't think you can customize how your pie chart looks location-wise or what you find. So as you can see here, here's one of our barns. For example, let's go buy this car because why not? Just for tutorial or review purposes. We'll leave the garage and then we'll load back in so I can show you what I mean for this neutral area regarding the barns. See, the barns you see are kind of randomly generated. So that barn I was just at, it had the one car, which I just went on ahead and picked up. I'll show you now whenever we load in. The barns are random, so that was one barn we found. So we're going to load back in, and you'll see that you actually get a different barn each time that you actually load into them. So if you see a fancy car in one barn, but you don't have enough money for it, rather than actually saving that barn as like a separate location or something to get back to at a future date, you'll either have to hope for the best that you actually do get that barn again, or that another barn actually has it. So as you can see, the barn is in a different location of the map, and once we load in, you'll probably see that the actual stuff in the barn is different car-wise. So I'm gonna go on ahead and load in, and we'll take a look. Always enjoy those loading screens, you know. Alright, so here we are, we've loaded in. So as you can see, in a few moments we'll see that the barn is more than likely quite different. So as you can see here we have 3 cars this time. Our cars themselves are fancy enough. Let's just take a look. So as you can see, we have an entirely different barn this time. So yeah, as I mentioned, you will probably have to hope for the best that the car you want is actually in the barn if it's randomly generated. Otherwise you'll be going in and out of barns for a while until you actually find what you're looking for. And aside from that, neutral area wise, because I suppose it does add a hint of randomness to spice things up a bit, that's essentially more or less about it for today's review for Car Mechanic Simulator. So I do hope that everyone picks it up. It is quite enjoyable, aside from the UI, loading times, and the randomness at times, but not really a big deal once you get used to it, I guess. But that's essentially it for today's review for Car Mechanic Simulator. If everyone enjoyed this here video, please be sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you lovely people next time.